So it was a night that began by being all about Zion and eventually became all about Anthony Davis, one of the NBA's biggest stars who, according to the last reports we've heard, still maintains he wants to be traded out of New Orleans. And so there were a million hypothetical scenarios that were thrown around out there yesterday. So I gave you guys a homework assignment.
Yes.
I said, put together a hypothetical scenario for an AD trade that you could see happening that makes some sense to you. Sean, you go first.
Okay, look, again, it's easy to say AD to New York. It's easy to say, I say AD comes to LA, but for the Clippers? Yes, the Clippers. All right, you trade Gallinari, he's got an expiring contract. Trade Montrezl Harrell, and then you give up the first-round picks, which are Philadelphia and Miami in the next 2 years. And then you get AD, you still have the cap space to get Kawhi Leonard, and then Steve Ballmer gets to do that. That is more Steve Ballmer doing that. That's great. And all of a sudden now you think about AD, Kawhi Leonard, and if my numbers are right, they might even still have room to bring in KD, and then you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as your playmaking point guard. The Clippers become, and Patrick Beverley.
Here's the thing.
You like that?
No. I know that you did a lot of work. Why don't you like it? Go ahead.
I don't like it because New Orleans doesn't get enough players back, okay? In this situation, they have to get assets where they can move their organization forward.
The 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, but
Miami's is going to be in the lottery.
Yeah, but knowing David Griffin, he wants guys that can play. Okay, so this makes my situation even better.
Go ahead. Let's go to yours.
Sean, I apologize. You know, you did a lot of work. I appreciate what you did.
I was running numbers, too.
He did. By the way, let me just say, Farnham yesterday was like, had people looking up guys' salaries and what will fit and what will not. You took this very seriously, which I appreciate.
The salary cap has to be put into play there.
And in 1 second, DJ said, that stinks.
No,
thanks, I appreciate it.
You did.
Hey, listen, buddy,
you're my guy.
Buddy, I can't wait to see what you've got.
Give me a better one. What do you have?
So here you go. You have New Orleans trading Anthony Davis and Solomon Hill.
Right.
Okay. David Griffin is want to get off of Solomon Hill's contract. In return, New Orleans gets the number 4 pick, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram.
So you both have AD going to LA. You have him going to the Clippers. And DJ, let's focus with you here for a moment on the Lakers. Why do you think that package that you just put together is more appealing to David Griffin than what Sean put together?
Because these young players have established in this league that they can play. Okay, so going over to New Orleans with Zion Williamson, whatever David Griffin can turn this number 4 pick into, you have a team that can compete in the West, probably get the 8th, 7th, be around the 9th seed in the West for a playoff.
The X factor in all this to me is Lonzo, and I want to turn to the UCLA guy here because Lonzo comes in with as much hype, obviously a part of it at least manufactured by his father, but as much hype as just about any player we had seen before Zion in a while. Magic Johnson tells him we're going to put your number up in the rafters someday, and now we're talking about him as part of a trade, and understandably so. How good is he if he gets out from under the circumstances where he is now and gets a chance to really run a team with a player like Zion on the wing? How good can Lonzo Ball be?
He would be great. He would be much, much better. He needs the ball in his hands. And with LeBron, you're not going to have the ball in your hands a whole lot. You also have to be patient with a point guard. There is no position that is more difficult to transition from the college ranks to the professional ranks than the point guard position, especially if you're 18, 19 years old. Because at that age, you're going against grown men who have grown man strength and have been in the game a lot longer and are just as athletic and stronger than you are. It takes time. Look at D'Angelo Russell's time in LA versus D'Angelo Russell's time with the Nets. Very different player.
Yeah, so we'll see. Either way, it's fun.
His deal is more realistic.
It's fun to play these games. Yeah, look, and obviously AD wanting so badly to go to the Lakers. The other factor, and this is the Knicks, we'll see where it all winds up. Meanwhile, we get to Game 2 of the West tonight. Laura.
A little more real than what you guys were talking about. Steph Curry been on an absolute tear since KD went down with a strained calf. In fact, he scored 69 points in his last 6 quarters. Our colleague Rachel Nichols sat down with him to talk about the run his team is on while they wait for KD to return.
With our core, obviously, without K, we have to play differently, and we have to kind of highlight what everybody's strengths are and do it by committee. Nobody, it's weird to say, gave us a shot to said we shouldn't have won the Houston series or whatever the case is. So, again, confidence and trust in each other to be able to make that adjustment on the fly. And we'll do it again when KD gets back in terms of the team that we want to be to win a championship.
All right, so the Warriors might not be better without KD, but they sure are different. Golden State used only 3 ISOs in Game 1 against Portland, its fewest in any playoff game under Steve Kerr, according to Second Spectrum. And guys, yesterday, Greeny was trying to sell you guys on the fact that maybe the Warriors are better without Kevin Durant. Yeah. Anybody change their mind about how they felt about that in the meantime?
No.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. But I'll say this, because I got a lot of hate from Golden State Warriors fans yesterday saying I was a Golden State Warriors hater. I'm not a hater. I enjoy the way that they play basketball. They move it a lot. Draymond Green running the point guard. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson running off a screen, shooting threes. That's my game.
You love the three.
I love the three. So, guys, I like Golden State Warriors. I just feel my personal opinion is they can't win it all without Kevin Durant.
All right, so you set the record straight, but at the end of the day, Portland's got to figure out something defensively, Sean, against Steph Curry tonight.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And in particular, I mean, look, if you're Steve Curry, you're coming out and saying, okay, on ball screens, we're going to bring Looney up immediately. Whoever's our 5, we're going to elevate Cantor. Whoever's Cantor's guarding, that's who we're going to bring up. And let's see if they've made an adjustment. And I promise you that they have. The biggest key, I think, to it is people talk about Cantor and his lack of athleticism and able to stop maybe Steph Curry turning and getting downhill. The key is really just 1 or 2 dribbles. If he can force him to take 1 or 2 dribbles by showing and staying attached to the screen and utilizing his length to force him to go east or west versus north-south, then that allows time for the on-ball defensive player to recover and get back in front of Steph, and then you worry about the roll man. But if you're worrying about the roll man with the Warriors, I think you're worrying about the wrong person.
Well, if I'm Terry Stotts, I'm doing one thing and one thing only. I'm trapping every pick and roll that Steph Curry is in, and every pin down Klay Thompson comes off of. I'm going to double team it, and I'm going to make other guys beat me. And if those role players, Iguodala, Quinn Cook coming off the bench, Draymond Green, if they're going to make shots to beat me, then I'm going to lose anyway.
Do you think those guys can make shots to beat the Trailblazers tonight?
Yeah, I've seen them do it. I've seen them do it in big series. So you think the Warriors
still win this game?
Yeah, I see them winning the game, and I see them winning the series. You know, I said yesterday that I thought Portland would win Game 3 at home, but other than that, I don't see any change.
Look, when Steve Kerr stepped to the press conference and said this is the type of series where we've got to utilize our depth and we want to play 11 guys every game, what that's telling you is he has a lot of confidence in his team's ability to win this series, and he's thinking beyond that and thinking about timely rest for certain guys in the course of this series.
You do wonder what Kevin Durant is thinking as he's watching Steph Curry and his team have a lot of success without him, but we'll see about all that. Golden State, of course, leading this series 1-0, and tonight on ESPN and ESPN Deportes, we have Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals for you from Oracle. It's 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Our coverage tips off at 8 with NBA Countdown, both, of course, streaming live on the ESPN app so you can watch from anywhere. Greeny, back to football.
And the Browns, who are holding organized team activities this week, and while Odell Beckham Jr. was on hand for Tuesday's OTA, Beckham was a no-show on Wednesday, and that led to questions for Baker Mayfield and Freddie Kitchens about their star wideout's absence.
You let a guy like that be him. You know, everybody has their routine. Stick to what's working, and for him, obviously, it's been working for a while. And so, no, you know what? He's going to do what he's going to do. You got to trust that he's going to be there when it matters, and we know who he is.
I've never disputed the fact that it's not important for him to be here, but it's also important for him to be mentally ready to be here. Odell Beckham's going to be here in the fall, and he's going to be a good football player in the fall, just like he has been. We just need to incorporate it into a team setting now and move forward with the Cleveland Browns, and that's what we're going to become. But are we there yet? No. And whether Odell's here or not here, we're not going to be the Browns yet. We're going to be the Browns when we line up in September.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure I understood exactly what everybody just said. So I'll ask you, A, can you decipher it? And B, do you think it's a big deal that Odell is there one day, not there the next?
No, not at all. I've been around plenty of guys that, because they're OTAs and because it's the offseason, sometimes you show up and sometimes you have other things, whether it's family stuff, personal stuff. I'm sure he has a busy schedule. The important things are this. When Freddie Kitchens says, like, Odell and I have communicated, we've had conversations, I know what his schedule looks like, that's okay. He's also saying we're not playing games. Basically what he says, we're not the Browns right now, we'll be the Browns in the fall. He's going, we're not playing games right now. This is not that big of a deal. I trust that he is going to be here in the fall. Also, when your quarterback goes like, it's great that Baker Mayfield goes, I want to let him be him. I have to let Odell be Odell. Baker said they're going to throw in the summertime. Everyone, this is a situation where you can make a mountain out of a molehill. Not that big a deal. He was there one day. He's not there the next day. Now, there's only 14 OTAs because of the new head coach, so you certainly want them there a ton. But if he misses a day here or there for some things and he communicates it, there's zero issue.
I understand, and I agree with you completely in principle that to make a big deal out of this is to make a mountain out of a molehill. That said, you're talking about 14 days out of essentially a 5 or 6 month period of time. So I can hear people in the audience saying to you, what do you mean he has a busy schedule? I mean, what is it that has to happen on this day, on Wednesday, May 15th, that couldn't have happened on any other day in January, February, March, April, May, or June, because they don't have anything scheduled most of the time?
Because there's so many things that top-notch athletes are pulled and asked to do this or that, or there's commitments that they have. Odell may have had a prior commitment to the Giants schedule in comparison to the Browns schedule. We just don't know. So it's not a big deal as long as he communicates.
Well, I think we agree it's not a big deal. One way or another, coming up, the Stars were out in Milwaukee last night, and a very unlikely hero emerged. Jalen Rose with his take on this and all things NBA. Coming up.